Broadcasting from the Vancouver Convention Center in British Columbia, Solutions Review is on location at the FME User Conference 2022, the peak of data integration. Brought to you by Safe Software.
I'm Doug Atkinson, and we are here at the FME User Conference 2022 in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, and I couldn't be happier than to be joined by Don Murray, co-founder of Safe Software. Thanks for being with us.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thanks for having us, actually, because this has been a great event, and it's really fun to be back at a live event and having interactions like this.
Yeah, it really is. Before we did this event, we would have discussions internally because we've done a bunch of virtual events. Is an in-live event, worth the extra effort? And this is day one, and already, we're like, oh man, we forgot how wonderful this is, and just bump into people, have, impromptu discussions about things, and just feel each other's energy. And so we'll be doing it, so now we're back, and okay, let's do more live events.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, we've had an opportunity to talk to a lot of your partners and customers, and your co-founder, actually. And what we've heard over and over again is how long they've been getting value out of FME, and how long they've been partnered with you, and it's actually clearly working for the partners, and it's an international partner base all over the world. I mean, every country it seems is represented. Tell me a little bit about what you see from an event like this. In terms of value for partners? Yeah. So the first thing is we had a partner day, and so all the partners get together, and it's a really unique partner group because we'll be having a meeting, and they're sharing with each other some of their secrets or their secret sauce on how they're successful to sell more product, and they really truly enjoy each other's company, which is interesting. I've gone to other partners, and you can tell partner shows, and you can tell they're very much view each other as competitors, and so they're all cordial, but they don't actually sit down and help and brainstorm. We had round tables just brainstorming on how to sell into a particular industry, and they were sharing stories and things like that. So I consider myself very lucky with the people I get to work with, both in Safe, but also the partners are just such a friendly group. Well, and you guys are having an amazing run. And you founded in 95, was it?
93.
93.
Yeah.
And you've been at the helm ever since.
Yeah.
And I saw your keynote earlier. You're growing through the pandemic.
Yeah.
No problem. Tell me a little bit about where you're finding the traction.
It's just data, and right from 93 when we had our first project, we started doing consulting, and then we had to move data in a month, and then we thought, oh, there's got to be a piece of software out there that just is like a data switch. You can go from any, and we're like, there isn't one. And so Gail and our technologists said, let's build this. And then from then on, really, we follow the data, right? We just see where the data growth is. Like most recently, there's a lot of growth in cloud-based databases or data stores. And so our customers work with data, so it just makes it easy for us to decide, okay, now we're going to make sure that we support all the big, cloud data stors. And now there's sensors coming online. There's a lot of real-time data out there. Okay, let's connect to these real-time data sources, because really to our architecture, a sensor is just like a query to a database that never ends. The result never ends, and so that makes it easy for us to build, these streaming data sources that come in and do the flow. So,
well, your co-founder Dale said to me that you guys solved the hard problem first, and that was maybe one of the best things that you ever did.
Yeah.
He also told me that. Of the two of you, you're kind of the one that's thinking about what is the next problem to solve. Tell me a little bit about that hard problem that you solved first. What did you see, and when did you see it, and how did you get there?
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think we saw it. We're technologists, and so we're looking for a challenge, right? And so we are inherently attracted to these really complex problems, and then to the point that we didn't do simple formats like comma separated value or Excel till much, much later because we were working on these really mentally, challenging, jobs and tasks and solving those. And
so were you building a project that didn't have a market?
Nope, we did have a market because there was lots of people who were working with like engineering companies, planning companies, cities with all the parcels and all the geometries. So we did have a market.
Niche.
Yeah, but then of course, once you start adding these other formats like Excel and CSV and databases without spatial, all of a sudden your market is much, much bigger because spatial is one type of data in a database now, and so you need that, but you also need all the other different types of data. So, but that's how we started with the complex part. But of course, once you build the complex part, then adding the simple part is much less work. Yeah.
Well, and I think it's given you an incredible competitive advantage solving that spatial question first.
Yeah.
Right, and I think we've heard it from all the partners. I mean, in energy, utilities, government, where the spatial data is so important, and the opportunities are so vast, you're killing it in all kinds of regions across the world.
Yeah, and now spatial is becoming more important to all.
Well, and so everybody's playing catch up.
Yeah, and so now everybody wants spatial, and guess what? We have the spatial. And when companies like Snowflake and Databricks and all these other companies add spatial, they come to us because they know we're building a database to source spatial. We need spatial data. How do we get it in? Oh, we're going to go to those safe software guys because they're the guys who know how to move data, spatial data, and leverage our database. Yeah.
Well, so the other thing, we talked to your FME evangelist,
Mark Ireland.
Yep, Mark Ireland, and we thought it was actually fascinating to look at the community, and you guys actually highlighted it in the keynote. Talk a little bit about that, because I think that's another advantage that quite frankly is defensible. When you have that many people, 20,000, upwards of 20,000
added every quarter, and those are the ones who are active, right? So there's some people who sign up and then they might do one thing and then they disappear. But the active ones are the ones that are exciting, and I give big credit to the community, to Dale, and to Mark Ireland, who then has run it for a number of years, but just to continue to find interesting ways to keep people engaged and to add value, make it easier for them to interact, and we also support it by ensuring that if there is a question that's asked to the community and the community hasn't answered it after a day or so, we jump in and we work to answer it, just to keep it as a place for and then it becomes an amazing resource because every question that's asked becomes searchable. And and then you have all these evangelists who are running around the world, who you treat people well, and then they tend to treat other people well, and it just is this big, huge web of FME knowledge that's being disseminated in all corners, and
Well, so I want to go a little broader with regard to culture, because I think that that whole community aspect is a reflection of the culture that you guys have created. And I heard you say and I wrote it down, the term "data is fun." Mm-hmm. I think that was your quote. Tell me a little bit about kind of how you go through life and how you've kind of helped build this culture around having fun with data.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of me. I just in general, I like to have fun, and I'm good at things that are fun, and not so good at things that aren't so much fun. and I'm a very excitable person. When I'm like when something happens in the office that I'm excited about, if anybody's around, they're going to hear about it, right? And I think that goes back to being in the office. It's much easier to share that excitement. And what we do is fun. Data is interesting. Every interesting problem that the world faces today, data is key to us even trying to understand it, never mind solve it. And we have lots of really big challenges as a society. We could get depressed about it, but I'm more excited about the opportunity for us as a society to solve it. And data is key to to all of that.
Well, and really where you're taking it, and you mentioned it again in the keynote, is really down to the human level, right? Where it's actually impacting the lives of people across the globe. I mean, talk a little bit about what you see for the future of data. Maybe not even spatial in integration, but just as a data innovator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We live in a society now where almost everything is recorded. So the amounts of data about anything we want to know about is, if it's not recorded now, it's going to be recorded very shortly. Like airports know where everybody is at all times. They don't know the person, but they know where all the phones are.
Yep.
And so then they can understand traffic flow. They can understand, wait a minute, why is everybody over there? That's not usual. So then they can see if there's an incident that happened over there. And so, and so that just helps us get a better understanding about everything. And so so data is where it's at. I can't imagine being anywhere else. And we were lucky. Like, people say, well, how did you know about data? In '93 we didn't. There's no way we foresaw where
there was no internet.
No, we got safe.com for like $45 or whatever it was, right? But if we had insight, we would have bought every single Fortune500.com, right? And
cyber squatting.
Yeah, but we didn't. We just and then over time, data became bigger and bigger and bigger, and machines became bigger. Then the cloud came along and again changed our industry, like it changed every industry on the planet. And then these mobile devices, which who would have foreseen the power in our pockets?
Incredible.
It's
incredible.
Crazy. It's crazy.
What's happening?
Yeah. But it all needs data. AR needs data. That's nothing more than painting the real world with data, right? And then allowing people to visualize their data through their AR device. Yeah.
So how did you feel coming back up on the stage after being out of practice for 3 years?
It was it was tough. I mean, I was really nervous. I was looking forward to it. I love being up there. I love sharing what we're doing. It's fun, but yeah. Particularly the first session this morning, oh boy, I was really, really nervous. And I'm sure people who have watched me, probably people who have never seen me before would think, that guy was really, really nervous, right?
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So, but then the second one, you're getting more back into the groove. It comes back quick.
Well, you've got to be incredibly satisfied with where things have gone and where they're headed.
I'm proud of the team. And that's what it's all about. Like, I get to work with just these amazing people, young and old. And some days at the end of the day when I look in my mirror, I'm like, wow, I'm not one of those young people who I brainstorm with all day. Maybe that's why I don't like video meetings so much, because I see my face. But anyway, yeah. So, and that's what it's all about is the people. And
you've created an amazing culture, and we can feel it in everybody that we're talking to. So well done.
Nice, yeah.
Congratulations on this fine event. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you're here. Yeah.
Great. We appreciate it, and best of luck for the rest of the year.
Well, thank you so much.